happening, partners and pilgrims? Welcome back to Big B's Library, another episode. Today we're going to be covering the rest of Morrowind Prophecies. Last week we did the Morrowind walkthrough. Now we're going into the DLC with Tribunal and Bloodmoon. This is a great game if you never played Elder Scrolls. This is one that got me into the entire series. This is what led into Oblivion and Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online. This is a great guide if you have the game, if you are looking, just got a walkthrough for everything involved. But yeah, let's get right into it and show off what's got in it. Check back. Don't forget to follow, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And check back here every Monday for a new episode and see what book we got coming up. Thanks a lot, partner.
Alright, welcome to another episode of Big B's Library. This is part 2 of the Morrowind Prophecies Game of the Year edition. Last episode we did the Morrowind. This one we're doing Tribunal and Bloodmoon. Like I said, thank you for tuning in. If you like what you see, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it. Every week we're doing a new episode on Mondays. This is part 2 where we're going to get into the Tribunal and Bloodmoon add-ons for Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind Game of the Year edition. So here we have Chapter 7, Tribunal Gameplay and Maps, where they add the new creatures. We have the Centaurian Archer, the War Durzog, Hulking Fabricant, Verminous Fabricant, Goblin, and Lich. New weapon types of the Adamantium. Armor, we have Adamantium, Dark Brotherhood, Royal Guard, and her hands armor types added. And then a few new alchemy ingredients. So then we go into, the basic maps again. Royal Palace map. We're just going to kind of breeze through these. Temple Courtyard map. Lots of locations to unlock. So with the Tribunal, it's an expansion for Morrowind. In this expansion, you journey to the capital city of Morrowind, Mournhold, where you encounter the two other god kings, Almalexia and Sothasil. And then there's the Gods Reach map. We have the Great Bazaar map. New locations to explore. The Clockwork City of Sothasil and Mournhold. New dungeons, new environments. And then the Plaza Brindisium map. Sewer maps. New enemies and challenges. The journal system has been updated to help you sort through quests easier. Some more sewer maps here. The main story involves political intrigue and divine machinations as you uncover plots and confront powerful adversaries. The expansion adds a lot of depth and complexity to the Morrowind experiences, offering new challenges and adventures for players. West Sewers, Temple Sewers. Now, let me know in the comments if you guys have played this or not, or if you have the guide, or let me know what you want to see next, if there's any guides or books, anything you want to move through. And I will say this, the plan is now, starting next month, at the end of each month, the last episode is going to be a gaming book, but not a guide. Every week we'll do a guide, and then the last week of the month, the last Monday, we will do either a collector's art book, or a coffee table kind of book, or a graphic novel, or some other kind of variant of a gaming book that's not a guide. So make sure to tune in for those, because I got a lot of cool stuff to show you. Then we go into the Manor District maps, courtyards, East Building, North Building. We'll just fly through these. Battlefield map, Tears of a Moon Shay map, Abandoned Passageway, the Armory Ruins, City Gate, Residential Ruins, the Forgotten Sewers, sewer maps, and then to the Terran Hall maps. We'll just kind of breeze through these and get into the quests. Tribunal, Temple Shrine, Abandoned Crypt. All these new locations to see. Temple Catacombs, Temple Crypt. And then we have the Genda Revel's Tomb map. Genda Revel's Tomb map bottom, top and bottom, okay. And then the Bombs of Shend map. Hearthfire Hall. And Hall of Winds, Passage of Whispers, Hall of Whales and Radak's Forge, Passage of the Walker, King's Walk, Skybreak Gallery, and then we move on to the Norandur map. Basilica of the Divine Whispers, Citadel of Mindrur, the Grand Stair, the Teeth that Gnash maps, and the Wailing Delve. And then we move into Sotha Sil's Clockwork City maps, the Outer Flooded Halls, Inner Flooded Halls, Hall of Delirium, Central Gearworks, and the Chamber of Soleil, top and bottom, Hall of Theuda, and the Dome of Cassia, Dome of Serlin, and the Hall of Salamu. And then we move into the Dome of Udak and the Hall of Maletho. And then the Clockwork City Dome of the Imperfect, Dome of Sotha Sil. And then we move on to the Tribunal quest here, the main quest walkthrough. Sleepwalking. Your first quest is unofficial but critical. You must find your way off the island of Ardenfell. And no, we don't mean swimming over to Sheogorath. The trip starts with a basic step, so basic, in fact, that you may have already performed it without knowing it. You just have to go to sleep. Doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter where, so long as it's a legitimate sleeping location, such as a rented room, the wilderness, or a friendly bed. Otherwise, you'll wind up waiting rather than resting, and that doesn't count. So you just go to sleep, and you'll wake up, and you'll find a way to that mission. And then we'll get into the missions. We meet Apelles Matthias. Then we go to Down and Dirty. We have Efete, A Decision, Tenius, Delician, Palace Quest. We go to Rumors, where we have Donas Serethi. The Whistleblower, where we meet Galsa Andrano. And Who Goes There, where we meet Evelyn Irano. And Mind Your Manner, no one knew there. Tongue Tied, we'll see Trails Various. And then Meet the Parent, Aranzia. And then Temple Quest, we go to the Goblin Army, we go to They Live, Urville Dulny. And then Barlzar's Mazed Hearts Club Band, or meet Tarasa Aram. And the Fabricants Come to Dinner. Palace Quest, King Me, where we meet King Helsaith. In this corner, we meet Karad. Then we go to the Temple Quest, A Change in the Weather, where we meet Marilyn Othan. And a Roaming Hand, where we see Salas Valor. Blade Runner, a couple movie titles in these missions here. Yagak Grolgulk, and Killing a God. This is the final quest here, where you kill a god. And then we go into miscellaneous quests. God's Reach, Someone Wicked, That Way Went, Galena Sadri, and His Cheating Heart, where we see Deldris Enderan. Barbarian Needs a Comic Book, Dillborn, we meet Building a Better Bot, Ignatius Flaccus. And then when machines attack, we see Varasa Serrano show up. The Ups and Downs of Bouncing, where we see Hesiod. Clutter, where we meet Detrius Caria. The Last Dagger Falls, reference to Daggerfall, the first Elder Scrolls, or maybe the second, I don't remember. Gian Ulin, What Can You Do with a Drunken Nord? Halmar will let you know. The Rude Apprentice, where we meet Thirdon. Freedom Fighters, where we meet Dovor Orin. And then we move over to the Great Bazaar, You Sir Are No Wizard, where we see Gavius Velis. Darts in the Dark, Naris Addis is there. Catch Me a Catch, where we see Marina Gilnith. And then Audience Participation, where we see Marin Othralas. And then Off the Back of a Guar, where we see Anya. And then we move to the temple location for some more miscellaneous quests. A Plague in 3 Acts. Neril Andoran will go through that with us. Brother, can you spare 1,000,000 dimes? Gaynor, probably not. Freeform, Mournhold, Tajorn's Armor, the Buddy system. We'll see Indolin there. Calvius Horatius. And then Pets or Meat, and then we go to the Heated Discussion quest where we see Forstog the Sweltering. And then to wrap it up, we go to Old Mournhold for a little more action where we go to Norondur, and there's a quest there. And that brings us to the end of the Tribunal walkthrough. Not too long there. So now we're going to move on to the Bloodmoon expansion. The Bloodmoon expansion, I gotta tell you, man, this is one of my favorite expansions of Morrowind. This is a very cool one. It offers a new setting, new features, and so the expansion takes place on the island of Solstheim, which is added to the original world map. Unlike the other one, you have to sleep to get there, and it's not an actual spot on the map. This island features a mix of snowy landscapes, dense forests, and new settlements. Werewolves are one of the major additions. The ability to become a werewolf is a key factor, and that's one of my favorite things about this add-on. Players can contract lycanthropy and transform into werewolf, gaining new abilities and facing unique challenges. And the main quest storyline revolves around the prophecy of Bloodmoon and the return of werewolves to Solstheim. You can choose either to fight against them or become one. New factions and quests, such as the Skull Nordic Tribe and the East Empire Company, and then of course the exploration and combat, open-ended, open world, new enemies and stuff to fight there, such as the Bone Wolf, the Grawl, the Grizzly Bear, the Plague Bear, the Horker, and the Plague Wolf. And then a few more over here. We have the Reekling Raider, Snow Bear, Snow Wolf, Spriggan. Those are tough. Tusked Bristleback, Werewolf, and the Wolf. And then we go into the Bloodmoon armor types. We got the Ancient Steel, Bear, Ice Armor, Nordic, Snow Bear, Snow Wolf, and then regular Wolf. And then the new weapons, we have Berserker Steel, or Berserker Silver, Huntsman, Nordic Silver, Reeklings, and Starum weapons. And then a few more alchemy ingredients there. Here is the island of Solstheim that they add on to the northwest of the Vardenfell. This is the island of Solstheim, broken up into the 4 quadrants there. We'll look at these. S1, northwest map. Tons of locations to discover here. Another 86 on the list. And then we go to S2, the northeast region, where we have a lot of locations as well. Another 72. S3, the southwest Solstheim region, where we go into another 75 locations. S4, the southeast Solstheim region, where we go into another 90 locations. And then we go into the more of the maps, the Raven Rock map, Caves of the Falging top and bottom, and then Aislip's Lair, Aislip's Lair's Caverns, Tombs of Scalara, Castle Karstag map, Banquet Hall, Chambers, Throne Room, and then the Caverns of Karstag map here. Lots of locations to discover. The Mortog Glacier map, Outer Ring and Inner Rings. And then the Huntsman Hall. And then we move on to Chapter 10, the Bloodmoon Quests, which I've kind of already talked about a bit here, where we're going to either fight with the humans against the werewolves or become a werewolf and take over. Into the Great Wide Open, we'll find Severe there. Just one little nip. We'll find Falx Carius. And then we find His and Hers, where we see Lucius. And then What the Skull, where we find Tharsten Heartfang. And then we go into Beaststone, Windstone, Waterstone, Earthstone. We're doing a lot of stone collecting for the main quest here. Treestone, Sunstone. And then we move into Stolen Furs, where we find Engar Icemane. And go jump in a lake, where we find Coursed Windeye. We're coming up close to the end here, almost 400 pages in this book. Wolves at the door. Then we have the human side, taking the totem. The Ristog, where we find Rolf Longtooth. The death of the Horkers. And then we go over to the wolf side of things. So you want to be a werewolf. This will lead you into how to do that. Defending the totem. Wrecking the Ristog. The death of Grawl, where we find Dulk. And then the Hunter's Game. And we have the first room, the outer ring, where we do the human side and the wolf side. And then inner ring, you have human side and wolf sides as well. And then finally we get to the Huntsman Hall, where we find Karstag. And then we complete that quest and we find ourselves at the epilogue. There's a little ice cavern there, entrance. And then Raven Rock quests. So now we go into some of the new faction quests. There's the favored skills here. We have long blade, blunt weapon, heavy armor, medium armor, armorer, and block. 3 guys down at the dock. And then we go into the next quest of Most Peculiar Nord, where we meet Heraldo. And then we're going to go Manifest Destiny with Gammon Gurith, a crossroads where we find Galenus, community property where we find Sabrina Vitellia, and then the Sword of Elbroth where we find Baro Ignatius. Black Gold Solsheim Sujama, the Falco Galenus side, we'll find Urin Marin, and then the Carnius Magius side, we'll find Aldum Barandus. We have the Death Wish featuring Celler Favelnum and Ice is Ice. We'll go to the Falco Galenus side where we find Graring, and then the Carnius Magius side. And then we'll go to New Quest Boss from Hell where we have a Falco Galenus side as well, where we find Constance Atreus. And then the Carnius Magius side we'll find Tervel Balin. And then we go to A Tree Doesn't Grow in Raven Rock where we find Unel Loran. The Timely Arrival of Galenus Uvalin, where we find Garnus Uvalin. And then Boslod and his Wonderbow, the Falco Galenus side. We go through there, and then we have Capitalon Populius, and then the Carnus Magius side, where we find Boslod. And then in Scalding Hot Water, very funny, the Falco Galenus side, we find Valgair, and then the Carnius Magius side, we found Toroloff. And then the epilogue for that faction's quest. And then we have a few miscellaneous quests here. We have Stoned featuring Ulfgar the Unending, and then we move over to Fort Frostmoth. Howling at the Moonsugar, we'll find Severia Gracius. And the evils of lecturing about the evils of drinking, where we find Jolene. And then we go to the Herstong Forest, where we find the Blood Skull Sword, or blade there, it looks like. And then Isenfir Plains Werewolf. Alright. And then we move on, we find a witch in that quest. And then we go to Silencing Erna the Quiet. Should be easy. Brander and Erna. And then we go to Castaway, where we'll find Galar the Mumbling. And the Killing Blow, where we find Ingmar. And a jewel, a small jewel, where we find Kolfina. The Dwemer Airship. And then in there we'll find Lewis Beachsham. And then Raven Rock, going native. We'll find Athalor. Skull Village, all's not well that ends well, says Lasner. And then we have Thirsk. It came from the lake, where we'll find Svenja Snowsong. And then Thormoor's Watch, we'll find Sleepless in Solsheim. A lot of movie references in these quest names. And then Thormoor Greywave moves us on to Freeform Quests, the Not Quite quests. Pirates Treasures, Himmelhost will be there. Helm of the Snow Prince. And then we go on to Wolves and Bears Living Together. Reichling Brothers Circus. And then Argonians on Ice, we have Thorover. And then Timval's Downfall. Timval is there. And then Frisa's Sense of Snow. Everybody's from some place department. Hidden Loot, Stalrim. And then we kind of... There's some more quests here. And then the hair of the big white dog that bit you. Okay. And it looks like we're coming towards the end here. Lone wolves, and then the flora and fauna. And that looks like that would appear to be the end of the Morrowind Prophecies Elder Scrolls 3 Game of the Year Edition Guide. Morrowind Tribunal Bloodmoon. This has been part 2 where we covered Tribunal and Bloodmoon. If you missed part 1, we cover the entire Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind section of this. So look for part 1 of the Morrowind Prophecies in Big B's library, and you can get a glimpse of that. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me here at Big B's library. I got lots to show you in the coming weeks and months, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. Don't forget to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button for me, and I'll catch you on the next one, folks. Thank you very much.
All right, partners and pilgrims, thanks for stopping by Big B's library again for the conclusion, part 2 of the Morrowind Prophecies, Elder Scrolls Morrowind, Tribunal and Bloodmoon walkthrough guide. Like I said, tune in every Monday for a new episode, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time, partners. Have a good one.